that was the beginning of the harmonic series. And a harmonic series is basically a phenomenon that when I play a sound, which is play a normal C, it's not actually only one note that's being played. There's these extra harmonics that we played on top of it. And the way you do it is basically you calculate how fast this wave is going. You multiply it by 2, multiply by 3, multiply by 4, and so on. So in this case, from C it would get another C, up an octave. You would get a G, a fifth up from that C. You would get a C, and then you would get an E, and then it will continue. So let's play that. Now, this is pretty important because a lot of people say that the reason we find happiness in a major chord is actually because, let's lower some of these notes down a few octaves. Get rid of this extra note. And that's actually a major chord. And this makes people think that that's the why music is so pure with major chords in this sense. But in this video, I'm going to try to explain how the harmonic series actually works a little bit more in depth. So, as we know, we get these notes by doubling their frequency. So, let's move this note down to A. And A, on standard tuning, is tuned to 440 Hertz. This A, to be exact. And when we go up an octave, all we have to do is multiply that by 2. So if this is 440, this up an octave would be 880. And now, obviously, there are other ratios to get other notes. For example, the fifth, let's add an E, is actually 3 halves. So let me pull up a chart of the different ratios. So as you can see, we have these different ratios, and this is what we call just intonation. The reason why is because our actual music, for a lot of reasons, doesn't actually use this, and uses a barely, and it uses a slightly different system that still works. Maybe I'll create a video about why that is, but there's a lot of videos online, like in the description. But as you can see, there are all of these ratios to get these different notes. And basically, when you do a harmonic series, you'll actually get some of these notes. So, for this instance, a perfect fifth will say 2, 3. Just flip that, you get 3 over 2. That means a perfect fifth over another note will be 1.5 times, or 3 over 2 times, the frequency of that note. And we can see it goes for other ones. For example, the major third is 5 over 4. So that would be 1.25. So a note that's a major third of another note will be 1.25 times the other frequency. Now, this is going to get important in how we actually create a major chord from our harmonic series. So let's go back to that. So, when we go back to just using a note C, we know that we'll double it to get C up an octave, and then we'll triple it. And I know that tripling it will get a perfect fifth. The reason why is that'll be times 3, and times 3 over 2 is just a perfect fifth, so it's just basically a perfect fifth up an octave. So let's add in our G. Now, in this case, we'll get 4 times, which is just 2 times 2. So we'll just get up 2 octaves. And now we'll get our last note, which is 5 times. And the ratio of a major third is 5 over 4. So that means we can get times 5 from 5 over 4 times 2 times 2. In other words, a major third, up an octave, up another octave. And that's actually how we get a major chord. Now, there is something else very important, because the harmonic series in nature, it goes up ratios. But there is a duality to this. So instead, now we're going to be dividing by 2, dividing by 3, dividing by 4, and dividing by 5. So let's add in our C down an octave. And now for dividing by 3, we know that this C will be the perfect fifth when we go up by 3. So all we have to do is go down a fifth from that note to figure what it is. So C down a fifth is F, so we'll put down an F here. And now we're dividing by 4, which is obviously down another octave. Now we're dividing by 5. That means C will be the major third. So C down a major third will be A flat. So now let's listen to this. And now let's move these up another octave. And we get F, A flat, C, which is F minor. Cool. So what this basically is doing is it makes people think of music as either just simply around a major chord because it's in the natural forms of nature, or a combination between major and minor because they're opposites from each other. Now, there's obviously is no definitive answer to which one, but I find this pretty cool. I know, I'm a nerd, so I find that cool. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and hopefully subscribe. Anyways, bye-bye.